Hello, welcome to the show. This is Easy Does It, and man, I just got to tell you right now, I am so happy that the Bears are back. The Bears are back. We won a game, uh, Thursday night football game against the Washington football team. I still call them that. And now we're gonna win every game for the rest of the year, and we're gonna go 13-4, and we're gonna go win the divisional round because we're getting that first round bye. We're gonna win the divisional round. We're gonna win the what's the next round? The conference championship, and then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl, and we are going to win that too. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's where I'm at right now. Congratulations to the Chicago Bears. Anyway, with that being said, I would like to welcome a good friend of mine to the show, my amazing co-host for the Jew Point conversion, which we have not done in a while, but I'm sure we will. I'm going to call on my friend and colleague, Noah Friedman.
How's it going?
It's good. How are you doing?
I was waiting because that seemed like what MLB players do, during the anthem or whatever. Like there's one player that like do the anthem for like the longest time. So I thought that's
standoff. We were having like a clap off, but it's not the best podcasting in the world, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. But hi, buddy. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. You watched the game last night? You get a chance to see it?
I did get to see it. I was texting you a lot during it, and I was very happy with the performance of DJ Moore, specifically because I don't have him in our fantasy football league, but I have him in another fantasy football league. And this dude goes off for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns and gets me 49 points. So I am well on my way to winning my week 5 matchup against somebody I don't even know. So
nice. Well, that's very good. That is good news. And my brother, shout out Cobb Zelonki, has who did he get? He's got what's his name? He's got DJ Moore too in his league. So in our league, the league that we're all in, so good for him. 52 points. That's a lot for fantasy football, that's for sure. But yeah, very happy with the performance of DJ Moore. Very happy with the performance of the Bears just all around. Also, RIP Dick Butkus. You're a real one. You're a legend. Sad he missed the Bears' first win in 14 games. What do you make of Justin Fields? Where are you at with him?
Listen, I haven't watched the NFL as much as I have in recent weeks because my life has changed completely. This show doesn't even know who I am, but on Jew Point conversion, people know who we are, and so I could give you an entire background of literally the last time since I did a podcast, and now I'm here.
Let's get that background.
Well, I'm currently wearing a Fox hat that is now my former employer, which is kind of insane to think about because I worked there for almost 5 years, but I left the company in April, and I got a radio job in Montana, and now I'm the sports director at the radio stations up here in the town of Havre, Montana, which is about north central, if you think about the state, if you're a visual learner. And I basically do the sports reports for 3 radio stations up here. And I cover the Havre High School Blue Ponies, I cover the Chinook High School Sugar Beaters, and I cover the Montana State University Northern Lights and Skylights. So
there's a team called the Sugar Beaters?
Yeah, so they're literally the most unique team name. In the year 2013, they came up with a USA Today poll of the most unique mascots in all of the United States, and the Chinook Sugar Beaters, I believe, took first prize.
Wait, they did a poll of the most unique mascots?
Correct.
You can't have most unique. Unique doesn't need a qualifier. Unique is one of a kind, so that's kind of a weird poll that they had. You can't be the most unique at something. You are unique. If you are you can't be the most one of a kind, if that makes sense.
Thank you for mansplaining my error.
Yeah, anytime. I'm a mansplaining expert. One time I was at a party I was talking to a girl, and she asked me to explain what mansplaining was, and I
Ooh,
almost fell for it, but I didn't. I didn't fall
how,
for it. I
how
was like,
inebriated were you at that party?
like a 2, probably had like a couple shots.
Okay, so you're
But no, the point being, I think my response was, "Oh, it's basically when." Not great podcasting there, but hey, Jeremy Bellman, I could always count on you to tune in. Is it snowing in Montana yet? I heard it's snowing in the northern part of the U.S. Is
well.
it?
I can tell you, Jeremy, and nice to hear from you or see you. Um, I woke up this morning. It was 28 degrees. It was the coldest temperature that I've ever been in my entire life. I'm a Southern California kid, so we don't get below freezing where I am or where I used to live. And there was ice on my car, and I had to turn on every single heating mechanism in my car in order for myself to feel comfortable on my way to work.
Oh
So
no.
to answer your question, I don't think it's snowed in Montana yet, at least where I'm from, so the north central part. But yeah, it has not snowed yet. I don't believe here there doesn't get snow until November if we're lucky. So my hope is that we get through this October month with just beautiful crisp fall weather, and then November is when I can start to worry about my first winter ever. I mean, Elijah, you've been in winters before. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
lived in
I've had
Tennessee,
winters.
in
I've
Virginia.
definitely had winters. My mom just texted me and said hi. By the way, Noah.
Hello, Barb. It's good to hear from everybody. My
Oh,
goodness,
yeah.
this has been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long, man. I'm glad we're finally doing this.
Let
Also,
me ask. Let me answer your question.
when do you get back out to California?
I come back the first week of November.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hell yeah, that'll be fun. Can't wait to see you.
Yes.
But yeah, so definitely make sure you got those winter jackets because apparently it gets very cold in Montana. It's basically Canada up there or something.
I'm
Um,
about 35, 40 miles away from the Canadian border. So that's where Havre is. So you can literally just drive up Highway 232 and you're in Canada, which is insane. So
then you've always struck me as a little bit Canadian.
honestly, I was thinking about becoming a Canadian citizen, but then I realized that attaining dual citizenship, if you're a United States citizen, is a little bit more difficult if you don't have a connection to another country.
Mm.
So the most likelihood I can become a dual citizen is Israel because of Judaism, and Germany because my maternal grandmother was German, and therefore I have
What
eligibility
about
to
what
become
about
German.
what if you what if you marry the child of? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. I
Nope,
was
that's
trying to
like
do
that's
some
like
math.
green card stuff.
No, what if you marry our former counselor who was Canadian, Daniel or whatever his name is?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about our former counselor Sophie Snow from
Oh,
Australia.
yeah, that's a whole other conversation. Shout out Sophie Snow. Can
Shout
you
out
imagine if
Sophie
you just
Snow.
like tuned in? That'd be funny.
I,
Anyway,
I, I want to answer your question that you posed to me before we got into this rabbit hole about
yeah,
Justin Fields and how I've been able to evaluate.
yeah. Justin Fields. Let's talk Justin.
Yeah, let's get back on track
Yeah,
here.
back on track. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
was watching Thursday Night Football's post-game show with Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Andrew Whitworth, Richard Sherman, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I believe it was Ryan Fitzpatrick who talked about how people are detractors of Justin Fields, and and Kirk Herbstreit said this too on the broadcast, just about the fact that this is what the Bears could be with Justin Fields and the aggressive play calling of offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, right? So the fact that people were calling for Justin Fields, they've been calling for Justin Fields heads ever since he was drafted. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, trading up for a guy who goes to a franchise with quarterback play that doesn't really mirror the rest of the league, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
The
No,
Chicago
dude.
Bears are probably like in the bottom few of like relevant quarterbacks that they've ever had, other than like
Yeah,
the
we're
Cleveland
bad.
Browns, I would say, is like off the top of my head. So for Justin Fields to play the way that he did last night, I mean, first of all, offensive line play for the Bears has always been a struggle for them, I feel like. They
Yeah, that
played
was really good today.
extremely well last night, gave Justin Fields enough time to throw the ball downfield to DJ Moore, connect with guys like Cole Kmet as well. But with the way that Justin Fields can play, like, I've always been a believer of his. He is a tough kid at Ohio State, transfer originally from University of Georgia, but of course, I believe he left because of either Jake Fromm or Stetson Bennett, if I'm not mistaken, like one of those two. And he made a name for himself at Ohio State, played really tough, and I thought the Midwestern connection of him getting drafted by the Bears would have been perfect for him. Now, unfortunately, he's gone through 2 head coaches and I believe 2 play callers, maybe 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I think
Yeah.
2.
And
2
so
and a half.
people obviously, and listen, me and you have been texting a lot about what's been wrong with the Bears. And we've been having the same conversation. And it's nice now that we finally okay. So I blame Ryan Poles. And I can't believe I'm saying that because of how much I'm a fan of his. But if you don't have a good team around you, how can you coach well? Right?
Well,
So
it's also like, aren't you supposed to coach players and make them better?
you
Like, isn't that
are,
what
but
you're supposed to do?
to me, it's like a pyramid system of McCaskey's at the top, Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus.
I think McCaskey's are more to blame than Poles. But honestly, Poles, like,
I don't disagree with you there.
trading for Claypool was probably the dumbest move the Bears have made since 2017 when they traded to draft Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. And this probably the second dumbest move they made since they traded their first round pick to the Seahawks for Rick Mirer back in 95, 96, something around that time. So yeah, the Bears are no strangers to making dumb moves, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right in your analysis of Poles. He's very clearly not above criticism, and they have a lot of work to do still, especially on that defensive line. They were getting to the quarterback a little bit yesterday, but you know, like not so much, like not nearly enough for my liking, and you know, like pressure is one of the most important things. That said, I don't know, man. I still think Eberflus makes a lot of very head-scratching decisions, specifically in that game against the Broncos, which luckily I have recovered from because, well, it's been a little while. And, you know, we won, so, you know, winning cures all. Jeremy also wants to add to the conversation, Justin Fields, big reason why Big Ten played football in 2020. That's true. He advocated for them, and that's when he got behind him. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, no doubt. Kid loves football. He's very passionate. You know, you got to love football. Not every position in football like has to love football to play football, but the quarterback's got to love football. And Justin, you know, I don't think that's never been a question for me. One thing is, I don't blame him at all for the Bears' struggles at this point. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's above criticism because, especially early on, he was making some head-scratching decisions. But 2 good games in a row is nice to see. This is where I'd like to see him string it together against the Vikings next week and against the Raiders the following week. He's got to have 2 more really, really good games.
And those are 2 very winnable games, by the way, too, Elijah. I mean, you think about the Vikings defense from last year, how terrible it was, and yet they were such a farce with their winning record and the fact that I think they only lost 3 games all of 2022. So the defense, to me, hasn't gotten any better compared to 2022, the Minnesota Vikings I'm talking about. And then the Raiders have always had one of the worst defenses in recent memory as well. So
yeah, they can never get that right for
whatever reason. So to go from 0-4 to 3-4 like that is not out of the realm of possibility. But then again, it's the NFL. So like you never know what's going to happen. But
of course not. And I could definitely see those games being games that the Bears should win and they let slip away in some creative way. That being said, you know, the Bears could be 3-4 by the time they come to LA to play the Chargers. And if that's the case, I know I will definitely be one of the many Bears fans in attendance doing everything I can to make it feel like a home game for the Bears, even though it will be in the stadium of the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. But
it's really the Rams stadium. You know, they share.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's both. It's both. They share a market.
Well, the
Chargers are more fun. Are the Chargers paying the Rams rent for the stadium?
They're not paying the Rams rent, but they're paying a portion of what the stadium costs. I mean, I've said this so many times on our podcast, the fact that the Chargers didn't have to leave San Diego. They literally spent the money that would be needed to build a stadium. $650 million is the relocation fee. to move 90 miles up the coast or however many miles it is from San Diego to Inglewood and not get their own stadium, number one. Two, have to share their stadium with a team that is bigger in the market than they are, right?
Right.
And it just baffles me that the Chargers are still not in San Diego. And they should be. It's a crime.
It should be. Yeah, I was pretty bummed out when they moved too, but I guess also the more I thought about it, the more I realized, wait a minute, they just kind of followed me because I moved to LA around the time the Chargers moved to LA. So, that when I looked at it like that, I was like, oh, that was cool. They just wanted to be closer to me, and that's nice of them. But that's more of an ego thing. They should move to Montana. What did you say?
I said you don't have an ego.
Oh, I do.
No, you do.
We all do a little bit. What's your what city in Montana are you in?
It's called Havre, but it's spelled like Havre, Havre. So it's named after the Havre, which is in France.
It's like Favre.
It's like Favre, yeah, Favre.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but it's not Havre, it's Havre.
Hear me out. The Havre Chargers. No, you don't like it?
I mean, in terms of what?
Well, they moved to Havre. Why don't the Chargers move to Havre?
Oh, you're saying the LA Chargers moved to Havre. Well, funny enough,
the Havre Chargers.
There's a post/tweet on X/Twitter that I favored about what? Here, I'll try to find it because I don't have that many likes, as we call it. But it literally was it was like a poll of what cities deserve a sports franchise, just like any sports team that deserves a franchise or like sports city. Yeah, here it is right here. Front Office Sports. May 17th, 2023. What North American city doesn't have a major sports team but deserves one? Lance Hartzler, who I don't know, said Havre.
Hey, that's what's up.
Shout out to Lance Hartzler, who I literally don't know. I should probably know him because he's got 1,584 Twitter followers /X followers. But yeah, here's a guy who is advocating for my city. And can I just say, by the way, too, if you want to get down this rabbit hole, Havre is a hidden gem. And I'm going to tell you why with two stories that I've done since I've been up here in my last 5 months.
Hit me.
The Atlanta Falcons of the NFL, like those Atlanta Falcons, who Elijah loves, by the way, because of John Boyce and
John Boyce. Shout out John Boyce
to make their seasons. They held a flag football camp all across the state of Montana, and it was the closest city where I was actually on a Native American reservation, and I went to, it's called Rocky Boy, and so they held a flag football camp with a few legends from their team who participated and coached up these kids at a reservation, and it was a great story. I really enjoyed doing it.
That is really cool.
So that was the first thing.
Who are some of the legends?
Bobby Butler, whose son Bryce played for the Raiders, if you remember him.
Vaguely.
I'm trying to think who else there was. I can go back and look, but while I'm doing that,
keep going with the story.
Okay, so the second story that I did was actually today, and right now in my town, they're actually holding a athletics scholarship weekend featuring legends of, and I'm going to say legends very loosely, but also like they're very notable, of the NFL, Major League Baseball, and NHL. And so I interviewed 3 football players and a Major League Baseball player today, formerly. Elijah will definitely know who the Major League Baseball player is, I would hope, just based off of the fact that you're a big baseball nerd.
I am. Is he a Cub?
No, he's not a Cub, unfortunately. He played for the Rangers, Marlins, and Giants.
Thank you. That'll help me for Immaculate Grid. Rangers, Marlins, and Giants?
Correct.
Was it Mike Lowell?
It was not, because Mike Lowell did not play for the Rangers or the Giants.
Was it Jeff Conine?
It was not Jeff Conine. I do not believe he played for the Rangers or the Giants either. You're just naming former Marlins.
You're naming Marlins, yeah. What was he known for? Rangers, Marlins, or Giants?
He was known. He made a name. He was with the Rangers for a year, and then they traded him to the Marlins. And so he won a World Series with the Florida Marlins in 1997.
Oh, in 97.
And then he made the World Series in 2002 with the Giants.
Was it
closer?
Oh, a closer. I was going to guess JT Snow.
No, that's a good guess, though. Funny enough, I believe he actually went to the same high school as JT Snow.
Oh, that is pretty funny.
like around the
I
same
don't
time.
know. I don't. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me because I don't know
Okay.
the universe too well.
So I am with the Major League Baseball's 25th position in saves all time.
Really?
Rob Nen.
Oh, I know that name.
Right?
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
So
Yeah,
we
I like that a
bonded
lot.
over the fact they were both from Southern California, so that made the
Yeah,
interview
yeah.
a lot easier. But yeah, so
100%.
he's one of the people who's up here supporting the local college, MSU Northern, and yeah, it was cool to interview him. I talked with Bill Collar, if you know him.
Bill
He
Color?
actually he played for the Buccaneers and the
Like
Bengals
you
in the
color with
70s.
crayons?
What?
Like coloring, like Bill Color? Like
It honestly reminds
blue,
me of
red?
like the brand, like the washing machine brand.
Okay,
So
fair.
yeah, so he played for the Bengals and the Bucks in the 70s, and then he coached in the NFL from 1984 to 2022.
Oh,
And
that's a
his
long
most
time.
recent stop was with the Denver Broncos, where he won Super Bowl 50 as the defensive line coach.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah,
Very
so
cool.
those are just two of the names. I don't want to bore the crowd. I saw Jeremy had a post. We didn't get to it. What did it say
Yeah,
about the Tampa Bay Rays?
Tampa Bay Rays should move to Montana and probably get more fans than in Tampa. And he's
Honestly,
right. Yeah.
and let me tell you, Jeremy. So I came to Montana in May. That was in the mid-swing of American Legion baseball season. It is a craze fest up there because my town actually hosted the Northwest Regional Baseball Tournament for American Legion, which was like the biggest deal ever because our town had never done that. And this was a tournament that dates back to like 1985. And so we were able to pack our stadium, which usually seats around 250 people because, small town. We were able to like double that in size. We got like almost 700 people in like this little stadium. And so we had teams from Oregon, we had teams from Idaho, we had teams from Montana. We would have had teams from Washington, but I don't think anybody qualified from Washington.
I didn't know anyone lived in Idaho, to be honest. I thought it was just Boise State. So that's
Jackie Pepper used to live in Idaho.
No, shout out Jackie Pepper.
Shout out Jackie Pepper. So, so to acknowledge Jeremy's comment about the Rays, Montana would be great if they could like build a dome. There is a basketball stadium that is like a dome, but it's in Bozeman, which is very far away. It's about 5 hours away from here. So,
here come the Havre Devil Rays, or just the Havre Rays.
Honestly, that's not a bad sounding name.
Yeah, not at all. Havre Rays.
Havre Rays.
Cool.
Havre
right. I think we should go ahead and get into the picks for Sunday and Monday.
Oh, shoot. We're doing picks.
Yeah, you want to do that?
This is like 2-point conversion. Okay.
Yeah, same format.
I have to pull up NFL Jesus then, so I can see.
Oh, I just typed in NFL schedule on Google.
Yeah, but I like to see it.
The first game is happening across the pond, mate. We got the Jaguars going into London to play the Buffalo Bills. Huh?
Oh, that's a good Chris Berman impression.
Thank you. I'm glad you noticed what I was doing.
Of course.
Whoop.
No, see, you got to go like, whoop.
No, I can't do it.
No, your voice is too low. You hit puberty. So
what if I did whooped?
Well, that's like your stepsister Mal.
Mal, shout out Mal. All right,
shout out Mal indeed. Okay,
Jaguars and the Bills. I like the Bills in this one.
So you said the Jaguars going into London. You forget though that the Jaguars did play in London last week.
They didn't have to leave.
So they've literally been across the pond, and they don't have to like do anything in terms of adjustments or anything like that. They got that big win over the Falcons.
Is this broadcasted from Andy's bedroom?
I don't believe so. I think this is an NFL Network game.
That would be cool. That was cool, by the way.
I saw a little bit of it, but I think they had technical difficulties in the beginning of it.
Yeah, I saw some bits. It was cool. It just looked kind of cool.
Yeah. So you like the Bills. I should like the Bills. I'll go upset. I'll go Jaguars just because of the advantage that they have already being there. I don't think they went back to Jacksonville. It would be so stupid for them to go back to Jacksonville.
There's no way they went
back to London.
Jacksonville.
And
I think, the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, I understand like the Jags had the advantage of having been there, but my God, Josh Allen is just on a tear this season. He had a bad week 1, and then the Bills have just been kind of unstoppable. And that's why I'm like definitely still on. I think it'll be a close game. Trevor Lawrence should keep him hanging around a while, but I like Buffalo to win it by the final score of the one of the most exciting scores in all of sports, in all of football, I should say, 31-27.
I'll take the Jaguars 28-23.
28-23, that's also a pretty good score. Hey, how about the fact that we had 2 scoregami this year?
Can we also acknowledge the fact that last night's game was 40-20, and you being the scoregami nerd that you are, you probably are up to date, but do you remember the last time that 40-20 happened in the NFL?
No, I actually looked it up, and I know it was a 5. There's been 5 games.
Most recently?
The Falcons and the Panthers.
From what year?
2019.
Oh, no, that's not what I saw.
Maybe let me check. I'm on the Scoregami website right now. So
okay, because that's
2019 Falcons over Panthers
in 2019.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Well, my sources must have been wrong then. I saw that it was 1993 it happened last, but that's
it also happened in 1990 between the Oilers and the Bengals.
Well, the Oilers don't exist anymore. They're the Titans now.
That is true. So the Titans and the Bengals. Either way, yeah, pretty rare score, which is always cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, scoregami. We've had a couple this year. We had 25-9, and then obviously 70-20, which, by the way, was almost not a scoregami because there like if the Broncos had scored another touchdown, 70-27 has happened before. So just saying.
Which is when?
Which is what?
When?
1950, it was that ridiculous Rams offense that started kind of invented passing the ball.
With Kenny Washington, probably.
Kenny Washington?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Kenny Washington.
I guess you're right. All right, let's see. So, yeah, we got some differing opinions there. All right, then we got the Saints going to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. This is kind of a battle of 2 teams that have underachieved this season so far. Who you taking?
I'm taking the under. First of all, I don't even know what the under is, but I'm definitely taking the under.
Under is 6.
I mean, you literally talk about Dennis Allen against Bill Belichick, right? Like that is defensive stalwart against defensive stalwart. I would not be surprised. I think the winner of this game will get to 17 points. 17-14 Saints.
Okay, we got some disagreement again. I don't know. I just think the Patriots are still a little better and they're tough at home. You know, they did give the Dolphins a run for their money. They held their own against the Eagles. It's weird seeing the Patriots get so many moral victories. But yeah, I got the Patriots winning this one against the Saints. I just think they'll be more buttoned up, ready to play. I'm gonna say they get to 22. It's gonna be 22 to 15, which has only happened once before.
Which was when?
That was in 1996. I just posted a video of the only time that happened. It was Seahawks and Dolphins.
Nice.
And the Seahawks won. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll happen again because why not? All right. Then we got a team that you are very familiar with, a team that one might say you love, and that is the Indianapolis Colts. They're hosting the Tennessee Titans from Nashville, Tennessee, but the game is happening in Indianapolis, Indiana. That was a weird intro, but yeah, what do you think?
I've never been to Indianapolis before.
Pardon?
I've never been to Indianapolis before.
Really? Dude, we got to get you to a game.
I know.
I'll go with you. I can't promise I'll put on Colts gear, but I'll go with you.
You don't have to put on Colts gear. Just so long as you're not putting on the gear that they're playing against.
What if it's a Bears game?
Oh, if it's Colts Bears, that only happens once every 4 years.
Well, not anymore because.
Oh, that's right. Because they flexed it to 18 weeks now. That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, who you like in this, and how you feel about Anthony Richardson so far? Because I like him.
Well, yeah. The last time that you and me did a podcast, we didn't even have an NFL draft. That was literally the last time.
That's crazy.
We didn't talk NFL draft. We didn't talk NFL free agency. So the fact that you're talking about Anthony Richardson to me, it's like, whoa, shoot, deer in headlights. Like the Colts just drafted their franchise QB. Like that's crazy. So to answer your question, I like Anthony Richardson. I think he's very raw, and I think he could turn out to be great. Unfortunately, he is literally the third wheel in the 2023 NFL draft because of Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. So that's just like,
and I think it's pretty clear that he's the second best of those three, though.
I think through 3 games, that's definitely, or 4 games.
Yeah,
that's definitely the case.
4 games is true.
Bryce Young is currently quarterbacking the only winless team in the NFL right now. So, like, again, it's not on Bryce, but yeah, CJ Stroud has had a fantastic start to his NFL career from what I've been able to see. Anthony Richardson has done very well himself too. He didn't play in one of the games because I think he was concussed. So I'm obviously worried about his health, but if he can master the Tua Tagovailoa school of, making sure he is able to be healthy after getting a concussion, then we're going to be okay, because Tua is having a career year right now to start his campaign in 2023. Man, and he obviously went through a bunch of head troubles last season. So
he's been awesome.
I'm excited for Anthony Richardson, what he can possibly do.
On Sunday, however, I see the ball jump out of his hands. It's like, I don't know, he just got such a crazy arm.
Yeah, he's definitely a freak. Like, he will be the most athletic QB of the 3 that we just talked about for sure. But yeah, he's definitely a project, and he's got to get weapons around him. And basically the Colts just have to develop some sort of culture that allows them to replicate what they were able to do with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. If we can have that string where you don't have to bring in a quarterback like a Carson Wentz or a Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, whatever.
Jeff George.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's before Peyton Manning, true, but Jim Harbaugh, yeah. So stability is what I'm looking for with the Colts, and then I will be able to take this team seriously. The fact that they're 2-2 already is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I didn't have any expectations going into this year with a new head coach and a new quarterback, but it seems to be working out just fine because Shane Steichen has obviously worked with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Phillip Rivers and Jalen Hurts most notably. So I'm excited to see what this partnership can become and what Chris Ballard can muster up in the draft cycle, because the draft hasn't necessarily been kind to the Colts lately. So in terms of the game on Sunday, though, if we get down this rabbit hole, I want to take Tennessee just because I want to see what the Colts can do down the line as opposed to what they're capable of in this moment. I like Tennessee anyway, just because I feel like they can bounce back. They haven't necessarily been playing well the last week or so. And so I think it's due time for them to get a win on the road, and a good place like Indy would be a good time to do it. So realistically, I'll go Titans 1, 24-23.
All right. I respect it. I could see it happening.
Are you disagreeing with me again?
No, I actually agree with you on this one. I think, I do think Richardson's got a nice opportunity here because I don't think the Titans offense is all that, although they did put a whomping on the Bengals. I don't know. I don't love what Tannehill's done so far this year. That being said, yeah, the Colts are going to have to figure a lot of stuff out. I think the Colts are going to win this one. I think the Titans are going to win this one by the most common score of 20-17. It should be a really good game, though. Should be a lot of fun. Should come down to the wire. I just don't think either team is going to blow the other team out.
Can I just say, too, with Tennessee, you touched on the quarterback play of Ryan Tannehill. Can we just talk about the fact that Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback right now, but they also have Malik Willis and Will Levis, and neither one of those guys seem to be it, which is crazy.
As a Bears fan, it's not as crazy as you might think, because the Bears have had a lot of quarterbacks who are not it.
That's fair.
Or who are not him, I should say.
But the Titans have had quarterbacks in the past like Kerry Collins and Steve McNair. So
speaking of him, Lamar Jackson is leading his Baltimore Ravens squad into Pittsburgh to play the hobbled and not very good at football Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. How are we feeling about that one, Noah Friedman?
3-1 against 2-2. Kenny Pickett will start, is what we've.
Yeah, he will. I'm a little upset we're not getting Trubisky, but whatever.
You love
maybe Roquan will do something about it.
You love him regardless of where he is. As long as he's not with the Bears. You respect him as a player.
No, Mitch Trubisky's my guy.
Yeah. So I'm taking Baltimore. I think that's the obvious pick. I mean, there isn't anything that gives me a reason to pick the Steelers. The defense has definitely regressed. The offense is not at the propellers that they should be with a banged up Kenny Pickett. And then I believe Deontay Johnson's on IR, right?
I think so. But hey, Najee Harris.
So I have Najee Harris in my fantasy league. That's not our league. And
Who do I fell for it again?
he's been very disappointing. So I want to see what he can do. But also they have Jalen Warren, who has come on pretty strong to start this campaign. So I like what he can do. And so he's taken away a lot of the production that Najee Harris would be able to have. But to me, it's all about the Steelers' defense. And they haven't shown up. They haven't been it. So it's very easy for me to pick a very prolific offense like the one that Lamar Jackson runs. And so on the road, there's no elements because we're still in the beginning of October. It seems like a pretty easy pick for me to go Baltimore by the score of 30-20.
Yeah, I'm picking Baltimore too. They've been really good this year, except your Colts beat them, which was kind of cool. It must have been pretty exciting.
That was weird. That was a weird game.
Very weird game. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Baltimore's better. I'm going to say Baltimore 24-17. Should be a good one, though, between two bitter rivals. Steelers always bring their A game against the Ravens, but won't be enough this time around. Next up, we got the Panthers going to Detroit to play the Lions. I'm obviously a big Lions fan this week because I want that pick. The Lions have been playing great ball. The Panthers have not been playing great ball. So we don't need to dwell on this game too much. I think, like a 30-13, 30-10 game sounds about right. What about you?
First of all, before I make my pick, do you know the last time the Chicago Bears had 2 first-round picks in the top 5?
No.
1965. They drafted Dick Butkus third.
Those are pretty good picks.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Can't get much better than that.
Before last night, the Chicago Bears held the top 2 picks in the NFL. So I
think we still might be in the top 5, but it's okay.
I think you might be right, but
I hope we fall out. I hope we win more games. So
everybody's clamoring for Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., which is like, wouldn't that be something?
After 2 good games for Fields in a row, I'm on the I can't root against Fields.
No, and you shouldn't. And obviously with that first overall pick, you could do anything you want with it. You can trade back again and literally be stacked for life at that point. Yeah. Because
honestly,
just thinking about that. Okay. Getting back to what you had asked me about. Yeah, I'm picking the Lions. I would have picked the Lions up like the way that you had with the 30-13, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going to play probably, so that dials it back a little bit. I'll still pick them and I'll still feel confident. But instead of it being 30-13, I'm going to say it's 30-17.
Okay.
Give the Panthers a little bit more of a chance because they still have race.
Good for them. Get another touchdown in there. All right. Then we got kind of I don't know if this game is interesting or if it's just kind of aesthetically pleasing, but we got the Texans going to Atlanta to play the Falcons.
I like the Texans here.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I like CJ.
I don't know what the Falcons' identity is under Arthur Smith. I've never been able to understand what.
I can't hear you. Sound.
You can't hear me.
Now I can hear you.
What happened?
I don't know. Audio got did bad wrong. But what were you saying?
Sorry, Bears fans, because I'm on Chicago Clubhouse, right? That's what it's called. Chicago Clubhouse.
Clubhouse Network.
Chicago CCN. Clubhouse Network. CCN.
Yes.
Almost CNN. Yeah, I don't understand what Arthur Smith's identity is with him as a coach. He's former offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans, and then he comes in and reunites with Marcus Mariota, and that ship kind of sank pretty quickly in 2022. So it's like he's basically starting over with what he thinks is Desmond Ridder, his franchise quarterback, but I don't understand it. Obviously, with Bijan Robinson being the top 10 pick that the Falcons had for the 2023 draft, he's a bright spot, but can you actually name me a Falcons defender? Because I can't.
AJ Terrell.
Who?
AJ Terrell, the cornerback.
Okay.
Then they have that guy Grant, the safeties Grant and what's his name, Hawkins. They got Grady Jarrett. I think they have Calais Campbell.
Oh, I know Calais Campbell. Sure.
Yeah, they have
Okay.
shit. Oh, that linebacker. They have a few. They have a few. They have linebackers. I don't know if they're good linebackers. They also have that corner. Do they still have Sheffield? I don't think they still have Sheffield.
The fact
But
that you just rattled off all of these names off the top of your head makes me realize how much I've regressed in my NFL knowledge since I moved to Montana and have not been able to focus on because I worked at Fox.
AJ Terrell's is a top guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's a top corner for sure.
I know the name. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. No offense to AJ Terrell or anything then, but
he's awesome.
So anyway, back to what you're saying. I'm going Texans. I like the Texans. I like what they've become. I love DeMeco Ryans. The AFC South is going to be very scary in like a year or two, just based off of the fact that everybody basically took a step back except for Jacksonville, and hopefully that division can be relevant again at some point because the AFC South is literally the least relevant division in all of football. It has been for a number of years now.
You know, the Falcons have kind of like a no-name defense going that I guess they've given up. Oh, wait. Early on, at least, they had given up the third fewest yards through 2 games. I don't know.
That's 2 games. They played 2 other games. How many is it now?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see real quick because I know. Well, I don't think they gave up a ton against the Lions or Jaguars. I just think the offense couldn't do shit. Like
again, and that goes back to what I was saying about Arthur Smith. I just don't understand what his.
I just don't think Desmond Ridder is very good.
I like Desmond Ridder. I just don't think he's NFL ready.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got backup written all over him, and that's not an insult. Like, I don't mean that as an insult. Being a backup quarterback is a great job. It pays really well.
Oh yeah, ask Chase Daniel.
What? Oh, they have Chase Daniel? I didn't even know that.
No, I said ask Chase Daniel.
Yeah, honestly, ask friggin' Don Strock or shit. Who's another backup?
Jim Sorgi.
Jim Sorgi or Josh McCown.
Josh McCown's another great answer. Yeah,
I love Josh McCown. Craig Krenzel, Caleb Haney. Ew. Okay. Anyway,
quarterback.
We could have a bad quarterback name off any day of the week.
Caleb Haney.
Yeah. Wait. Don't even get me started on Caleb Haney and Todd
Sponsored
Collins.
by Haynes.
What'd you say?
Sponsored by Haynes.
No, not your best. Not your best, Noah. But it's okay because I love you anyway. All right, we got the Giants going to Miami to play the Dolphins. I think Miami is going to win this game 300-6. No, I'm kidding. But they should win. They're bouncing back off a tough game against the who do they play? They played the
Bills and got shellacked.
Yeah, I think they'll get 35 points. I'll say 36 points. They're going to win 36-21.
I was gonna 21 for the Giants offense. Really? Is Saquon playing?
36 to 17. 35-17.
Final. I'm not trying to be an auctioneer. I'm not trying to like.
No. It's okay. But that's my final.
17. Do we have 17?
Doing the quarter 3 the quarter 35-17.
No. So I will say if Saquon plays, they get to that plateau. What did you say? 17?
I just found out I could turn off my mic with my eyebrows. Watch.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah, I said 35-17.
30. I think you said 36 because I was going to say 35.
No, I changed my mind off of 36.
Okay, so
it's
then
too hard to achieve. It's awkward.
You're saying that it depends on if Saquon doesn't play, the Giants are scoring maybe a touchdown. I'll say 34-10. If Saquon does play, I think they get to that 17-point plateau, though.
Man, the Giants are bad, dude.
I don't get it. I mean, we talk about how bad Minnesota was, right? And like they were such a farce with a 14-3 record or whatever, or 13-4 record, whatever record they had.
We're gonna watch the Vikings doc with you, by the way. We're gonna watch the whole thing.
When are we doing that?
I don't know. It's like 9 hours, so it might take some time.
Good. Hopefully, I have a day off where I can do that. But yeah, I think we're both in agreement on Miami over New York. So I don't know what you're doing. Do you usually do this on Chicago Clubhouse?
No, I don't. But this is my show, so I can do whatever I want.
You're a lot because I've seen your show before, and you're a lot more professional with other people. So what is it about me that
I just miss you, dude.
Makes you sink down to the?
I missed you, Noah. Jesus, wow.
I miss you too. And can you see how many people are watching right now?
Yeah, we've been bouncing between like 3 and 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm happy with it.
And one of them's definitely Barb Gelb. So Danny Dollars can't throw from his.
No, my
From,
mom's probably sleeping, so actually I don't know. She might not be, but Danny Dollars can't throw from his back. That's true. He cannot throw from his back.
Jeremy, he doesn't have an offensive line to help him in the pocket. So
yeah, but also he sucks.
Well, $40 million is not worth what Daniel Jones is actually worth. So
yeah, I completely agree there.
People are going to say he sucks because of his value.
Speaking of quarterbacks getting paid a lot of money, Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. How are we feeling about that?
I don't understand Cincinnati's offensive woes. I really don't. I mean, it is the most frustrating thing to watch because I have Joe Burrow in our fantasy league, and he stinks. And
he'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Well, I think this is a perfect game to figure it out. You're playing against an Arizona Cardinals defense that's very young and very hungry, and Cincinnati doesn't go one of two ways. Cincinnati can tear them apart because of experience and Arizona's lack of, or Arizona can play basically the same first half that they did against the Giants before they came back and won in, what was that, week 2?
Yeah, something like that.
And so it's really hard for me to pick against Cincinnati, especially because Cincinnati beat the Rams, and the Rams are a very good team. But yeah, they obviously have had a dud against, Tennessee last week. And so this is a perfect get-back game for Cincinnati. I'll take the Bengals to win it 27-16. How about that?
Ooh, you know what? I like that score. I'm gonna agree with you exactly. I think 27-16. That sounds good. That sounds about right to me. Bengals get the win. Yeah, the Bengals haven't been obviously playing the Bengals. I feel like they always start slow. They started slow last year. They were 0-2 to start the season. Yep. This year, obviously 1-3. Definitely not where you want to be. And Joe Burrow's been playing. He seems pretty hurt at this point. But I do think that they are better than the Cardinals, and I think that will show. That being said, Cardinals have been kind of, what's the word, feisty, frisky this year. So, might be a surprise, pretty good game, but I don't think it will be very, I do think the Bengals have a pretty significant competitive edge. Cardinals make it kind of exciting, but Bengals get the win. Hope to see Josh Dobbs play well, though.
I like Josh Dobbs a lot, and I like.
You mentioned the Bengals beat the Rams, and the Rams have their work cut out for them on Sunday as the Philadelphia Eagles are coming to town. Wish Noah Gross was here so we could go to that one. Yeah, that should be a fun game. What are you thinking?
I'm taking the over. I don't know what the over is, but I will take the over. I don't see either of these two teams putting up much of a defensive stalwart effort. So I like Philadelphia. Philadelphia is one of 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL, I believe, right?
They are.
And so I like Philadelphia. I think they'll win. And I think it'll be a
very... over under 50.5.
Oh.
Over? You think so?
Yeah. 50.5, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good thing to formulate my score because I'll say 31-27.
Ooh, that's a great score.
I like 31-27, but I would not be surprised if both teams hit 30.
But also, I don't know, something about this feels 27-23-ish. But the Eagles' defense hasn't been playing great.
No.
We got some very interesting guys, both sides of the ball, defensive, really. You got Aaron Donald, you got Jalen Carter, who wants to be the next Aaron Donald. The Bears decided not to draft him, but that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, look, I like what we're gonna get from. I think this should be a really fun game for sure. And I do like the over too, and I like the Eagles as well. I'm gonna say 38-26. I think they get a late touchdown to put it away, but it's gonna be competitive throughout.
I'm excited to see Cooper Kupp come back off of IR and see how he went.
Puka and Koopa. Puka Koopa.
Koopa.
Pukin Koopin. Pukin Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard.
Speaking of Chuba Hubbard, he went to Clemson, and Clemson is where Trevor Lawrence played, and Trevor Lawrence was almost drafted by the Jets, but then the Jets won some games, and the Jets have Zach Wilson and are going to be going to Denver to play the Broncos. Broncos country, let's ride Russell Wilson. Broncos obviously coming off a fluky win against the Bears, where the Bears totally fucking choked. How do you feel about this one, Noah Friedman? Kind of a battle of two sad teams.
First of all, Chuba Hubbard went to Oklahoma State, not Clemson.
Wait, what?
You must be thinking of like Travis Etienne or something.
I think you're right. God damn, that's crazy. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to make
confident about that too.
I want to make sure that you're giving Chicago Clubhouse viewers the most accurate information. Although we probably both make mistakes tonight on this.
No, we all make mistakes.
Well, as Hannah Montana says,
everybody makes
mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Perfect. I got to work it again and again until I get it right.
See, there you go. And that's what you continue to do every single day on Easy Does It. Well, every single week, I should say. Do you do this show more than once a week? Or you do it once a week?
Once a week.
Yeah. So it's and it's always on Thursday nights?
Friday night? It's Friday night. Yeah, now it's Friday night.
Okay. Well, Shabbat Shalom. And also
Shabbat Shalom.
The day of the week it is. But shoot, I have a football game to prepare for. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna I do actually have a football game to prepare for.
You have a game tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Oh, send me the link. I want to tune in.
Okay, tomorrow at 1 p.m. It'll be on the radio. MSU Northern at 1-3, taking on the 1-4 Eastern Oregon Mountaineers in NAIA football. So you can hear me on the call for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely send me the link.
Yeah, I will. But I have to prepare for it. All right, Jets and Broncos. Oh, goodness gracious, this is sad. Like you said, I don't. Can both teams lose? Is that possible?
There can be a tie. A 13-13 tie seems pretty reasonable.
Honestly, 14-13 Broncos.
All right, that's fair. I think that there's going to be some more turnovers, which could lead to a little more scoring. I'm going to say 19-16 in a pretty ugly game. Broncos come out on top. I don't know. Russell Wilson, I don't think he sucks like everyone else thinks he sucks. Like, he doesn't suck anymore. That Broncos defense is rough, but I don't know. I don't think Russ is that bad. I think that the Broncos will win.
Well, the Jets defense is very good, very young, very prolific. You've got guys in all three phases of that defense who are tops in their positions.
Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner, Brett Favre. Just kidding. I agree, but I do think Denver still wins at home in a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of close game, we won't have a close game in Minnesota where the Chiefs are playing the Vikings.
Good goodness.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are just going to smoke them, obviously. I think it might be a little closer than some expect. I could see Kirk Cousins, throwing some touchdowns, but ultimately I think, it's going to be hard to stop the Chiefs, especially with a defense that's not very good. I'm going to say 40. I don't think they'll get to 40, but I think they'll get to 38 to 24.
I like that score. I really like that score. Before I tell you who I'm going to pick, which is the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, dating Taylor Swift, yes or no?
Yes, but do we need to talk about that?
Well, they haven't publicly said that they're dating.
Okay, but I don't care. Like, I think they are, but I don't care.
Okay, well, wait, it's the number one story in the NFL right now. So I
know. But she's a great. She's seems like a really good person, very talented young woman, but I just don't care who she's dating.
Young woman who's older than us.
Yeah, but she's still young.
She is definitely young. I think she's 34. So anyway, going back to the pick itself, yeah, you said 38-24. I think that's probably accurate. I don't know if the Chiefs get to 38. I think they probably get to I'll say 29. 29-20 Chiefs. And by the way,
29-17?
Not 29-17. No. Those are saved for special occasions. Specifically Super Bowl 41. I was going to say that this is the matchup of two of the three quarterbacks in the Netflix series Quarterback. So could you imagine if they did a second season of it and those two guys were featured once again, how many freaking cameras there'd be, not only for the broadcast of the TV game, but also for Netflix.
I haven't actually seen the show yet.
Dude, it is fantastic. I'm shocked. You would
Yeah,
love
maybe I'll get around to it eventually.
Oh
I've
my
been binging NFL Top 10.
I mean, everybody watches that NFL Top 10.
Do we? Does everybody?
I
I don't know, man. I feel like not everyone grew up watching NFL films religiously like I did.
I mean, I had
I,
to watch it for my job, but
no, I
yeah, I
know,
never
but
really
dude, I
watched it.
watched so much NFL Game of the Week, NFL's Greatest Games, NFL Top 10, NFL uh, Total Access,
Inside.
all of it. Sound effects or Sound FX.
Yep.
Inside the NFL is different. It's not NFL films, but it is NFL films at the
They
same
use
time.
NFL Films footage, but
Yeah, and then
different show.
oh, shoot, what else? Oh, In Their Own Words, America's Game,
Oh,
all of
America's Game is so good.
I love America's Game. America's Game, The Missing Rings.
So
I used to love Sports Century, but that's different. Stump the Schwab, also different.
So America's Game is like what they usually play during the NFL offseason, right? That's
Yeah.
similar to what MLB Network play, or I'm pretty sure they don't play it anymore, but MLB Network used to play something called baseball seasons, and it was literally mainstream appointment viewing for me. And
I love it.
and unfortunately they did not get around to like making very many episodes. There's a lot of episodes, but they're all from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They get to as far as I think 2004, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken,
wow.
maybe 2007. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, the way that
They
they,
could do that.
the way they formatted it's kind of weird. So I wish they
It's
would
kind
bring
of
that
like,
back.
probably like NFL Yearbook, which I loved too.
See, you're bringing back a bunch of different memories, and we're
Oh,
going
yeah.
down.
NFL Yearbook is fun. But here, we don't have a ton of time just because I have to meet up with the brother pretty soon.
Cobb.
Yep. Shout out Cobb Solanke. By the way, have you seen his Geico commercial?
I have. Yes, he's at the airport. He's getting frisked.
Yep. He doesn't even want to go on vacation anymore.
He doesn't even want to go on vacation. You know what's so funny? I watched that commercial and I think to myself, why is he in this commercial? And then I think to myself, I'm so happy he's in this commercial.
Wait, what do you mean? Why is he? He's an actor.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying.
Actors act.
He's just like the background, you know.
Well, he's what do you call it? He is definitely
The
not
main thing is
background.
between the guy and the security guard for saying like have a great trip and like you too. It's like and Cobb is there to just provide a lot of comedic relief for the background, and I love it.
Yeah, but he improvised that line.
Oh, did he actually?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did not know. What was he even supposed to have a speaking role?
I don't know. I think he was just supposed to say something, and that's what he said. But yeah,
that's awesome. Look, that is breaking news right here on Chicago Clubhouse. Like, I don't think many people know that.
I don't think many people know that my brother's even in a commercial. Wait, that's not true. A lot of people know that, but like not like I don't know about all the viewers or anything. But anyway, yeah. So Jeremy, if you watch the games and you see that Geico commercial, the kid who says I don't even want to go on vacation anymore. That's my brother. He's wearing a Hawaiian yellow shirt, so keep an eye out on that.
He's got like the surfing pose too. He's like this.
Yeah. Well, he's getting frisked, which is why it's the surfing pose. Anyway, moving on. We got the Cowboys going into San Francisco. Yeehaw!
Game of the week.
A great rivalry between two teams that aren't even in the same division. This is going to be a fun game. I'm super excited. Niners by 14 though, 31-17. Wow. Yeah, I think they're so much better, but I could be wrong. I just think they have the Cowboys number.
Yeah, I understand that, and they're the second undefeated team in.
I'll give the Cowboys 21, 31-21.
I'll go upset. I'll go Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, and the only reason I'm doing it is because of defense. I mean, I understand that Trevon Diggs is not on the side, or he's not on the team right now because he tore his Achilles, but I still think San Francisco hasn't faced a defense like this all season long, and I love Dan Quinn. I love what he's been able to do. Mike McCarthy's calling plays again. I know how you feel about Mike McCarthy dating back to his days with the Packers.
I love Mike McCarthy.
Well, you do now because he's not the Packers head coach. But
I think he's an underrated coach. I think that Sean Payton gets so much love and Mike McCarthy gets so much hate. And like they've pretty much done the same thing record-wise throughout their career.
They've won the same amount of Super Bowls.
And I think the difference between the two of them is that McCarthy's fat and Sean Payton is kind of like a handsome guy. And that's why Sean Payton gets more love and Mike McCarthy gets shat upon.
Ouch.
No, that's true. That's the reality. That's the reality.
Anyway, I'm taking Dallas. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think there will be turnovers aplenty on both sides of the football. I will say over under one defensive touchdown for sure. And I'm taking Dallas. I like Dallas, and I like them 26-23. I think the.
I hope you're wrong. I much prefer the Niners in this game, but
we both picked the Eagles to win, so they would move to 5-0.
Yeah.
If we both picked the Eagles to lose and then the 49ers to lose, the Miami Dolphins could pop their champagne, the 1972 Dolphins, who have the only perfect season in NFL history.
That is true.
Go back and do their annual ritual, which is, spending time on the beach and popping champagne to celebrate the fact that they are still the only undefeated team left in professional football history. So
that is true.
But
all right. Then lastly, we got Green Bay going into Las Vegas to play the Raiders. I think that the Packers will win this one because Jordan Love is pretty good, which makes me very upset. But yeah, and the Raiders don't have much of a defense, and they're kind of a joke of a franchise. So Packers get the win. 23. What?
Begrudgingly, they get the win.
Begrudgingly, the Packers get the win. 26-17.
All right. I like the Packers as well. The Raiders have no identity with Josh McDaniels.
I don't like the Packers. I think they will win.
Well, you didn't say that. I did.
No, I know.
So
you said as well.
Okay, you're right.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being
you're right. This is why we work in terms of our friendship. You always call me out on my bull, and I always call you out on your bull. Anyway, I like Green Bay. I don't think this one's going to be very close. Is this the first time Green Bay's played since last Thursday? Last Thursday, right? Against right, yeah.
The NFL loves them so much that they gave them an extra long mini bye.
It wasn't the Bears. Who was it? There was a team recently that played a Thursday and then played a Monday. Oh, the Giants. Yeah, the Giants played the 49ers, and then they played on Monday night against the Seahawks. So I don't know why this is such a common occurrence now. Like, I don't remember teams having this very often, if so, and now it's happened twice in the same amount of weeks. I like Green Bay. I think Green Bay will win, and I think they will win, but I mean, they got embarrassed against Detroit. So
yes.
I think they win 31-16.
All right. Yeah, I could see it. Hope you're wrong. Hope we're both wrong about that one, but I could see it. Anyway, that pretty much concludes our picks for this week. And, let's tune in, see which one of us is 100% correct, because one of us will be, because that's how math works.
Yes, it is.
In other news, you can find Noah Friedman on Twitter at Noah Friedman _.
That is it.
You can follow me on Twitter at, I believe I'm just E. Zelonki.
Yes, you are.
You can also please follow and subscribe and like the videos on Chicago Clubhouse Network. What else are we? Chicago Clubhouse Network. Tune in on Tuesdays for the main show, Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. We got shows Wednesday. We got shows Thursday. We got shows Friday. We got, Chicago Bears Midweek Report, which I produce, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely keep tuning in, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Easy Sports Channel. I just post a bunch of random sports shit that I find, and I never really know how to end a show, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. And Noah, you want to say it?
What am I saying?
I was just gonna say shalom, but that's okay.
Well, that's what we do on our podcast.
That is true. So we'll say Shabbat Shalom.
It's true. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. And remember,
this has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.